If you were given $1 million and you had to give it to one charity, which charity would you choose? Toastmaster, dignitaries, fellow members, and distinguished guests, raise your hand if immediately a charity came to mind. Raise your hand. Look around. This is incredible. Incredible. What is charity? United Way, Goodwill, Salvation Army. These are charitable organizations, but what is charity? I have a very simple definition for charity. Charity is giving. Now, what comes to mind for most people is giving money. And yes, that's true, but that's only a small part of it. You can give of your time. You can give of your possessions. You can give of your gifts and your talents. You can give of your wisdom and your experience. Now, we can all think of 100 different examples of each of these. I'm going to share a few of them with you right now. Bill Gates. Everyone knows who Bill Gates is. Bill Gates created the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the wealthiest foundation in the world. Bill Gates is the richest man in the world. The second richest man in the world is Warren Buffett. Recently, Warren Buffett donated the majority of his fortune to that same foundation. Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa lived a poor and humble life. Mother Teresa gave of her time. She gave of her wisdom and her experience. Mother Teresa gave of her compassion. Mother Teresa changed the entire world. Two examples in my own life I'd like to share with you. Two women that I'm absolutely privileged to have known. Grandma Sanchez and Grandma Clark. Grandma Sanchez passed away Thanksgiving Day of this last year. Grandma Clark passed away 2 months ago. Both these women lived amazing lives. They had humble upbringings. And their lives that they chose to live were lives of integrity and morality. My Grandma Clark was known for her listening ear. If you had something to get off your chest, or you needed to talk to somebody, my Grandma Clark was the one that you can go to, which came in handy because she was a preacher's wife. She also gave of her possessions from time to time. She also gave of her wisdom and her experiences. She gave of everything she had. My Grandma Sanchez grew up on a poor side of town, in a horrible neighborhood, in a puny house. In this neighborhood, there were bars and liquor stores throughout. Behind my grandmother's house was an empty field where the bums and winos spent their days and nights. Now, my grandma and Grandpa Sanchez had an open door policy. And this policy is this: if you needed a warm meal or a place to stay, the doors were wide open. Now, mind you, this was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house with 13 children living there. And in my estimation, there's somewhere between 20 or 30 chihuahuas living there as well. Not kidding, actually. These are great examples, Johnny. That's wonderful. How do I get involved? I believe there's 2 different things you need to focus on. The first is passion. Passion is a burning desire to do something. It's what gets you up every single morning, and you just can't wait to live that day. It's what gets your heart pumping, your blood boiling. That's passion. The other is compassion. Compassion is a deep sympathy for something or someone, or a group of people. When something or someone, or this group of people is hurting, you feel it deep down inside of you. And it urges you, and urges you, and urges you, and urges you to do something about it. Why do I want to participate in charity? Why do I want to participate in giving? Very simple. Very, very simple answer to that is giving is fulfilling. I believe we're all created with the desire to give. And when you give, you're fulfilled. And we've all felt that warm feeling, warm fuzzy feeling that we all have inside. We've all felt it. It's incredible. One of the things that I want to talk to you about as well, we've talked about what charity is. We've talked about a few examples, 2 things to focus on, and why participate in giving, why participate in charity. Now, I have one question for you. One question. And that question is this: with all this information that you now know, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Soul searching time. I remember sitting there in my grandmother's funeral services and looking around at all the people. There were so many people at these services, they didn't even fit in the churches. There were people outside. Most of them I didn't even recognize. And I remember sitting there thinking to myself, my grandmothers lived lives of integrity. They lived lives of morality. They didn't have $1 million. But what they had was worth way more than $1 million. They had a heart, a giving heart. The lives that they lived were incredible. And it was evident to me that day at those 2 funeral services that the lives that they lived were just incredible. They gave everything they had, and it was evident that day by the number of people that showed up. I learned a lesson that day, a lesson that I will never forget. I will pass it to every person I ever meet. I'll pass it down to my children as well. And that lesson is this. You'll remember for the life that you live. You'll remember for the sacrifices you make. What sacrifices are you willing to make? What life will you be remembered for?